There is a debate in this party right now about the role of corporations, as you know. Senator Warren, in particular, put out a plan to break up tech companies like Facebook, Amazon, and Google. You said we should not, quote, be running around pointing at companies and breaking them up without any kind of process. Why do you disagree?
I don't think I disagree.
Oh, I'm for doing lots of things where big tech are concerned. What I'm for, though, is that we have to figure out precisely what the problems we're trying to solve for are, and then figure out what the right approaches are. And then the break them up approach may or may not solve the problem that we're looking to solve. Like, and it's what I said before. It's like if you break up Amazon into 4 mini Amazons, that actually does not help that Main Street set of businesses, like, reconstitute. Like, we need to get money into people's hands in a way that's going to impact their lives. It's not about how people feel. It's about, because it might make that, like, Main Street merchant feel good, but, like, it's not going to, like, if I say I just broke up Amazon, like, it doesn't really help that person. And technology is a very different thing because none of us wants to use the 4th best navigation app. Like, this isn't an area where it's like, ooh, does competition always, it makes sense? Like, there are some instances where it's like, you know what? Like, we need one thing just to aggregate all the data and become the most efficient. But then the question is, what happens when that monopoly ends up messing with our democracy or hurting us in various ways? So we have to have a different set of solutions for a different set of problems. It could include, having companies divest parts of themselves, 100% on the table. It probably should include, or almost certainly should include, the suggestion where if you have a platform, you can't have your own house brand that you're privileging and then just like selling it at an advantage relative to everyone else. So there are big moves. I am for curbing the abuses in big tech. But what I'm not for is taking a 20th century toolbox to a 21st century set of problems. I am open to any and all remedies, including having these companies get broken up from what they are right now.
Okay. So I think that aspect of Elizabeth Warren's proposal is correct, where if you are the platform, your natural incentive is to advantage your house brands and products over other products. And so that's what you do. and we should present that choice where we say, look, if you're the platform, great, you can be the platform, but you can't just sell your house brand on top of it. And if people just can't resist that temptation, then ask them to divest those businesses would be appropriate. That said, I think that just a simplistic call to quote unquote break up tech companies is something of a 20th century approach to 21st century problems, where the dynamics of tech are such that consolidation actually in some ways ends up making sense. And this is what I mean. No one wants to use the 4th best navigation app, and there's no public interest being started being like, oh, we need to have like you competing. It's like, well, maybe one of them just has the most data and then it ends up giving us the most accurate directions. It's one reason why we use Google and not Bing or, Ask Jeeves or whatever. It's like if there's one search engine that just gives us better results, it's like, what are you going to do? Break them up so that we have some cruddier ones? Like that's not necessarily a solution. Or another example I use is that many parents are concerned that our social media apps are causing anxiety and depression in teenage girls in particular. Does forcing Facebook and Instagram to become different countries different companies solve that problem? No, of course not. So what are you trying to solve for? It might make you feel good to say break up tech, but it doesn't actually solve the problems. Just like turning Amazon into 4 mini Amazons will not revive Main Street businesses around the country.